Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so following up, rest in peace, Marcellus Williams. He was executed minutes ago, and for crimes that he's been proven to not have committed. Even the family of the victim did not support his execution today. And my information on who was ultimately being plastered all over the place was the governor. I didn't have the information that I now have. It was the governor, and the information was that he has pardoned a lot of people under a lot of circumstances, but wouldn't pardon this man here. So all my information was vague, and I didn't really have any, but the governor of Missouri allowed a man who had plenty of reasonable doubt and support for his, salvation, so to speak, would be the word. Let him die, man. Let him be executed tonight. And so, yeah, definitely sending condolences to all of those who not only loved the man, but were fighting for his life, man. There was a lot of us who didn't want to see this go down the way that it did, man. But, it's just one more drop in the bucket. We already know what this country has been up to as of late. So it's just one more body to add to the thousands that they've killed. What do you want me to say, man? As a black person, I feel a way about it. Yeah. I feel like this could happen to myself or somebody I care about. We're not safe here, man. I cannot tell you that I feel 100% safe in this country. I don't, man. I don't think we should. It's not even that we have to worry about the things that we're most concerned about. We have to worry about being arrested for something we didn't do, and then furthermore convicted for it, and then furthermore executed for it. It just happened more than once. More than once. And so for all of us who are scared, I just say, man, keep your head up, brothers. Keep your head up, because we are up against a lot at all times, so long as white supremacy is in charge of things, man. And white people are going to have to just understand that. When we say that we have a problem with your supremacy, it's because look what it represents. It's not like it represents anything that's good for others. It only represents what keeps you supreme. And that, my friends, is a balanced system that is failing us. And it's driven by hatred in a lot of cases. Not pride, not respect for self, not even self-preservation. Just hatred. And the discarding of humanity if it isn't white. Or even if it is white, if it happens to support that of brown skin, they discard of its humanity too. It's not a system for us, man. I don't know what to tell people. White supremacy is not for us. It's not for black people, it's not for white people, it's not for any other races in between, friends. This thing, as long as it's maneuvering the way that it does, driven by what it's driven by, eventually it's going to drive us into extinction. There's no way around it. It's going to drive us into extinction by way of its own guilt and its own ridiculous biases. Very ridiculous biases. And I'm telling you, as long as we continue to let those who run the country engage in its principles, we're going to always have instances like this and many others that are just unacceptable when you zoom out and look at it from afar. It's like, what are y'all doing in America? Is what I would say if I were outside of America watching this. Y'all really just let this happen? Nobody's upset? There's no violence? There was no coup to try to, get this man out of prison? Why are y'all so docile in the presence of obvious railroadings? Is what I would say if I wasn't in this place. But since I'm in this place, I understand exactly what's going on. We're used to being screwed over. We're in a system, I want to say the word policy, but we're in the presence of a culture that allows for us to only care about ourselves. We're encouraged to be ambitious within the confines of what it is that ultimately brings us money. And that's all it's about. If it can't give me a buck or get me out of the hell that I have going on, then I really don't give a crap. That's what's going on with America. I think we're a reflection of our government. Whoever pays us, plays us. You know what I mean? That's what it is. You got a society that's depraved in nature, driven by greed, and driven by not substance, but material. And so if people want to buy our government, as we were talking about in the last video, or if they want to kill us off, they can do that if they want to pay the right amount of money to make it happen. That's what's going on. We're not holding on to life very strong, to be honest with you. We're holding on to production in terms of attention. The clout chasers out there, we're holding on to the production as it pertains to money for all of those capitalists out there, but we're not holding on to anything that would otherwise be outside of those parameters. If it betrays any of those two things, it doesn't seem like people in 2024 really care, man. Honestly, they don't have a concern for those things. Outside of what makes them famous, what makes them money, if it ain't one or the other or both, people just don't value it. Each other, wisdom, the future. Do we care what happens to the next generation? Not really. No. We only care about ourselves. It's like we behold the understanding that the only thing that we experience is our own experiences. So therefore, whoever has to fall on the sword because of our intention on making our experiences positive, just gonna have to suffer that. And we won't care nothing about our legacy because we'll be in our graves. So let me have what makes me happy today and the rest can go to hell. That's kind of what this generation is on. And for that, we suck. There will be greater generations ahead who will look back at us and they will speak of us as those who didn't care about them. Who gave so little damn about them that they would sell their future down the river for our intentions. That's what I think of us. That's exactly what I think of us. As I pay attention to this genocide, yeah, there's some people who care. Don't get it twisted. There's plenty of people who care, which is why I have this conversation. But it's not enough. It ain't enough. It ain't a majority. We've been rocked to sleep by, shiny objects. Shiny objects. Well, shiny objects. And whoever has the shiny objects is who we ultimately support. That's what it is. I'm not interested in that. I want the new iPhone. I'm not interested in that. I want the new truck that just came out that looks like a trash can. You know what I mean? Like that type of stuff is what we own in 2024. While people are suffering and dying, we're like, well, I mean, yeah, that's cool, but Super Bowl is going to be played soon, so I'm more interested in that. It's like we're lacking accountability. This is what we were talking about in regards to our government, so to our people. It's like there's no one shaming us for this. That's what is missing. The entity that holds us accountable for our indifference. Indifference upon one another, indifference upon the future, indifference upon people outside of our circumference. It's nothing shaming us properly so that we would at least think there's something wrong with continuing this way. That's what's lacking in 2024. Effective shame. We need that. We crave it. Our culture craves accountability without it actually being conscious of it. It's what's lacking, man. And I tell you, it starts with our leadership at the top, with our Congress clapping for Netanyahu and his baby-killing intentions. And it trickles all the way down to the fellow man on the street that could give a less care about somebody walking past who doesn't have nothing, as they continue on their mission to get every damn thing. That's what it is. It's a lack of shame, a lack of concern, a lack of intentional sacrifice for the betterment of anybody else but ourselves. I'm walking past a Israeli-supported company. These people are killing children. Everybody in here would go absolutely insane if they saw anybody do anything to a child, and yet they're supporting people who are killing children for about 1,000 so they can get a freaking burger, man. So they can get a freaking burger. Like that's where's the shame? People who are affected by this directly are addicted to the poison that is being sold by these same individuals who are killing children by the boatloads. Like, there's nobody holding people accountable for the selfishness, the indifference, the cowardice. It's like we all agree that this is how it's supposed to be. Yeah, man, it's fine. We're America. We're safe. Everybody else who's dying around us because of it, that's their problem. Thank God I'm not them. Whew, it could be so much worse. Aren't you grateful? Like, that's the type of bullshit mindset that is ultimately everywhere around me. I'm just trying to get mine, man. You get yours. I enjoy my day. That's what matters. I'm gonna die someday, so YOLO. Like, that type of shit. And ultimately making the life so much harder for so many other people because of it. Selfishness, pompousness. It's pompous. That's the energy for me. Snootiness. I was raised to be repelled by that. We in this country are raised at this point to support and engage in that and strive to become that. I want to be bougie, snooty. I'm trying to have so much so I can look down on everybody around me. We've been coerced into striving toward becoming that. Too good for everybody else. Too good for my fellow man's problems to be a part of my thoughts. Let him strive for himself. Let him pick up his own bag. I ain't worried about whether or not his burden is too much for him. We're all struggling, so he better figure his out. Like, that's the type of crap that allows this imperial nonsense to continue. Is the individual mindset of individuals just like that. Every single damn where you look. Fight or flight, swim or drown, kill or be killed. Cope off dope. That's another big part of it. Cope off dope, for sure. A lot of people are so damn high and so damn drunk that they don't give a shit, to be honest with you. They're not sober enough to think clearly enough to even be outside of the moment they're in to be a solution to a moment thereafter. They're high. If I'm being completely honest with you. It's sickening, man. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. I'm not giving up because I know of a living God. And it's the only reason why I'm not giving up, because I know of a living God. He's already proven that to me. I've been at rock bottom when my own personal circumstances got bad. And I saw him pull me out of it. So it's not really about me not having enough energy to go forward or being so fed up that I want to leave the earth. That's not where we're at. This is not. But I would be lying if I didn't say that I'm looking forward to that for which is not holding people accountable coming around and starting to do so. I will say that. I'm looking very much forward to seeing the shame applied to that collective mindset of snootiness and not caring about nobody else and being fine with other people suffering so long as we have our creature comforts. I'm looking very much forward to that type of shame being present in this place. Oh, I don't care because I got mine, you get yours. Yeah, that needs to be shamed now. We're in a space where we have enough understanding of what's going on around us outside of our borders because of our nonsense to know that that should be shamed. That needs to be held accountable. And we better hope that people don't come around on a universal scale to doing so. Because there's a lot of people complicit to crimes because of it. Things that we don't deem as crimes because we're doing them and we're comfortable with it. But believe me, if an international court wants to come down on each and every individual who's complicit to genocide, it's going to be a country full of people in prison. You understand what I'm saying to you? A country full of people in prison if we're doing things correctly. All of y'all who are accomplices to the betterment of the finances of the guilty party need to understand that you are exactly that, guilty and deserving of what comes with that. And luckily enough for you, we're not in a position to hold you accountable right now. We don't have the culture of holding you accountable right now. It is your saving grace that this place is too incompetent to do the difficult math to hold everyone accountable for their complicity to genocide. You are lucky. Because I believe that as we go forward, further generations will not have that luxury. They will not have that luxury. They will have the capability of holding each and every one of y'all accountable. Every waking coin will be accounted for. Every waking hair on every head that was fine with this will be held accountable. That's what I'm hoping will be coming in the future. Because it sure isn't going on right now. I'm telling you, that's what needs to come. That's what I'm intentional at this point on praying for. Because right now, in this moment, there are too many people running around guilty as hell of not giving a damn, and furthermore, strengthening the suffering of others. Strengthening that suffering. Not just being indifferent, but strengthening the suffering. Complicit, guilty, and getting away with it. That's the God's honest truth. Clapping their hands as bad guys are talking about their intentions on slaughtering innocent people. That is exactly what we're talking about. And I try to be a drop in the bucket for the notion that such things should be normalized. Such shame should be present in our lives. That the culture for which would hold us accountable to this needs to be given birth to. That it is not okay for people to suffer the ills of the American intention. Absolutely not. Not Americans nor foreign people from anywhere else should have to suffer because I want a damn burger or because I can't live without my freaking Starbucks and all the additives that are in it that would otherwise control my goddamn intentions. And as a believer in God, I do understand that a lot of you, if not all of us, are going to have to face the reality of something greater than us that is in fact capable of doing that type of math and holding the type of people accountable and holding people to that type of shame. Unfortunately, it won't be done in the flesh, it seems. But you best believe that at this point, I'm convinced there's a God. And just like we say in regards to trickle-down effects of certain things having been proven, so therefore other things have to be accounted for within that truth, so too does what comes with the God that exists and every bit of the bullcrap that we're doing not being right. So long as there's a quote-unquote no God, then all of this is fine. And anything that comes of it is fine because chaos rules the world. And whatever the most ambitious and intelligent man can come up with to accumulate productivity is king. Until it's not anymore. Until his intentions ultimately destroy himself. But that's wisdom for which he lacks in a lot of cases as he goes forward in trying to gobble up whatever he can and in his racist intentions or whatever they may be. And the further denial of those racist intentions. Dystopian behaviors. Ignoring that for which is the crying out of people who are suffering, innocent people suffering, dying, losing loved ones, etc. I want better for my legacy. I do not want to be grouped in with this nonsense. I really don't. I don't want to be grouped in with this generation of people who are absolutely comfortable with everybody suffering on their behalf. I don't want to have anything to do with that. This is why I speak the way I do. I don't want to be remembered amongst one of you. I don't. None of this is of my spirit or my comfort. I don't want any of this. I don't want a single soul to die in Palestine or in Lebanon for the sake of those who control my damn government. I don't want to have nothing to do with your suffering. I want to have everything to do with your liberation, though, and the returning of your land. I want everything to do with that. And the further shaming of those who would otherwise oppose that intention, I want everything to do with that. Fairness, as it pertains to you, is something that I value very much. just like that of your lives, I value very much. I do not want to see you die, your children die, your wife, your husband, none of that. I don't want to see no more of your people lose limbs. I don't want to see you deprived of basic human necessities like water. I don't want to see people inflicting their pain upon your heads just for the sake of their own evil intentions, demonic religious intentions. I don't want to be a part of society that they have warped and brainwashed into believing that they are the ones who should be making the decision in regards to such. I don't want to have anything to do with that. And I want that to be ever so clear. I am from a society run by irresponsible, selfish, and demonic intentions. Raised in a culture where the only thing I should truly give a damn about is myself and my money. Coerced by a propaganda that's intentional on making me care about material and less about substance, care more about ideals that are attached to obtaining material and less about ideals that are intentional on preserving life, that are human and animal alike. All of this is against me. It's been against me. I just didn't know how to put my finger on what it actually was until now. It is why I'm not as productive as otherwise would be considered successful in this life. It's because this is the fish, what do they call it, a fish bowl that I'm in. This is the fish bowl I'm in. I look up and see kids the same color as kids I seen under rubble, y'all. See them right now playing on their balcony as we speak. They look just like 2 7-year-old, 5-year-olds that were found under the rubble. No difference in their skin. And because they're over there in Palestine, where the people who control my government ultimately have deemed is their land, because they're over there, now children like that don't get to grow past that moment right there. And I guess I'm supposed to be okay with it because the people who control the money have deemed them necessary to kill for their own intentional reasons. And I guess I'm supposed to be cool with that, because if I'm not cool with that, then I'm weird in this fishbowl. Then I'm a terrorist sympathizer in this fishbowl. This is hell. No, scratch that. This is some type of evil purgatory. What we're putting those people through is hell. This is bullshit. But I don't get to suffer enough to call it hell. That's not what this is. That's unfortunate enough. It's just not what this is. I have the privilege of being able to walk down the street without bombs bursting over my damn head. I get to live under what is considered a free world. At least affords me the ability to benefit off the suffering of others, which leaves me guilty even though not intentional on being that way. Think about them kids in Congo who are trying to look for cobalt right now. 3 years old, 4 years old, innocent snatched from them, working to all types of hours in all types of ungodly, unsafe conditions so that I can get the new phone. Knowing this and understanding this, but still in a culture from which it's still fine because it's what it's always been, and that's them over there, and it's so damn unfortunate. But look at my phone, it's so cool. What's on it right now? And I look at my phone and I see more dead children. It's only for the sake of the God-given talent that I have to continue speaking that I'm not out of words. Because if not for it, I definitely would be out of words at this point, man. I can't even feel too much for Marcellus because at least he's a grown man. These people killing babies. Why would I think they'd spare the life of a black grown man when they're killing brown babies? And turning a blind eye to it and enjoying it, more or less. Killing children left and right. How can I feel in my conscious mind so bad for a grown man who was unrighteously killed when I saw kids in my phone dead this morning? It takes away your humanity, man. It takes away your ability to feel for the shit that you would otherwise care about. When you know that you see an innocent snuffed out of life for no other reason than just demons are in control. Demons are in control. Control the narrative, control the language, control the circumstances, control the money, control it all. Demons. Sacrificing entire races of people at the altar of the devil. That's literally what we're looking at. And these drugged up, pumped up, sexed up celebrities, closeted ass celebrities aren't helping. They're not helping. Their sins are a distraction from that focus. If I'm being completely honest with you. The demon Puff Daddy, he is a distraction from the focus of the slaughtered children, for which we should all be paying attention to. But because he couldn't keep it in his pants, now we got a distraction on hand just in time for the year culmination of this slaughtering of children. Puffy, you disappoint me, sir. Never mind the intentions that you had upon your life to be what it is that you are not, but that you would be in a position to be used this way in a time when we should be focused on real shit. We focus on bullshit that you did, that these idiots that are killing these kids get to exploit at their own intentions. Never has there been a bigger disappointment than a man who has it all, who gives it away because he couldn't keep himself together. I'll tell you right now, man, my respect for those who want to stay in the closet and force other people in the closet has been decreased by this circumstance. I don't have a problem with gay people. I don't have a problem with people who are afraid. What I do have a problem with is these individuals that find themselves nestled just in the right spot to be a distraction for all of their wrongdoings and the stuff that ultimately they do to be exploited at the push of a button for these Zionist baby-killing bastards to continue to put themselves in a position to not be held accountable for what they're doing off of the strength of what you're doing. If you celebrities would just come out the damn closet, it ain't gonna be used as a distraction. Let me just be honest. If y'all would just live in your damn truth and give the finger to anybody who otherwise says otherwise, since you want to pretend to be the strongest mugs in the world, how about you actually be that? That's the part that kills me. That's the part that drives me crazy. You are a part of a community that is poorly represented, and you don't want to represent it in a way that normalizes what it is that ultimately you are. You would rather stay in the shadows and cast further aspersions upon that community from within your lives. Here we have an entire society who has no respect for you, and you have no respect for you because you won't live in your truth. I'm a straight man. No interest in men whatsoever. None. A man can't do nothing for me but write me a check and point me toward the nearest woman. That's literally it. That's how I'm wired. I didn't choose that. It is what it is. Just like you didn't choose you, you are what you are. A man can't do nothing for me. I'm not tempted. I can be in a world full of dudes. Ain't nothing gonna happen because I have no interest in that. Literally. I can't relate to your strife, to your plight or your strife or whatever it is you go through as somebody who goes both ways or goes toward the same sex. I can't relate. And furthermore, I can't relate to the idea that it's my job to keep others in line in regards to keeping my secret. I can't relate to that. But what I can relate to is being a black man in this country, a part of a society that has been shunned since we've been stolen from our land and brought over here to work for free at the behest of demonic entities that wanted to enjoy our suffering so they can get off on it. White supremacy and its sick, twisted ways. I can relate to a plight having my people mischaracterized based on the poor representation of our image by that entity. So when I look at my gay brothers and sisters, or my bi brothers and sisters, and I see these pieces of crap representing you, I feel for your offense. Especially for the people, for the males that go both ways, who have such poor representation or no representation whatsoever within the community, only to find out that the most of us who we've paid attention to in our community are a part of your community, and we're ashamed and didn't want no one to know it. All these cool ass celebrities, all these dope ass rappers now being outed as going both ways. And you trying to tell me that all my life I've thought they were soft when the people I grew up learning from were them? Dudes that were telling me to not follow this path, to stand up for that thing, that I could do it, I could be whatever I wanted to be, couldn't even be themselves. It is disgusting how many of these rappers who walked around like they crap didn't stink and like they had all the women were looking at men and didn't want nobody to know it, for all of the good they could have did for their community by just being themselves as they were in their truth. All the good they could have did for their community. Talk about the agenda of trying to normalize LGBTQ energy. Nothing will normalize it more than finding out this rapper, that R&B singer, that dude, that celebrity star that you've been paying attention to that grosses billions and billions of dollars was a part of your community. What could it have done for your image and the perception of your image if these cowards were to just represent themselves as they should? The whole damn industry. Respectfully, our image of what it would mean to be going both ways wouldn't be what it is that we have of it if these people who represent themselves would just behave as if they weren't afraid to be themselves. I mean, after all, behind the scenes, they all out in the open with it. The biggest stars in the damn world. The biggest black stars in the damn world. Everybody who's in their scenes see them acting that way all day, every day. And then when you ask them questions about themselves, oh, all I like is women, all I like is women, all I like is women. You a liar. You a deceiver. You're a misrepresentation of your own community. You're a denier of your own community. And all of the stereotypes that come with that I would not mention for the concern that is sheer ignorance that would otherwise align those stereotypes with those type of people. Cognizant of my own ignorance because of poor representation and failed representatives. Should be ashamed of yourselves, every single last one of you. That's what needs to be said. That's what needs to be said. Every third celebrity, especially the super macho dudes, they're not wired like me, man. And that's so, I guess that's fine. I don't know. Is it fine? They're not certainly not telling us it's fine. You feel me? They certainly not doing a good job of making it seem like it's fine. They seem to think there's something wrong with it. But not because they don't refrain from the activity. They just refrain from doing it in a space from which they can be represented. It's embarrassing when you consider that most of these people are black that I'm talking about. You talk about how much homophobia is in the black community and how much ignorance in regards to LGBTQ is in the black community, and then you realize half of the celebrities that we aspire to enjoy are from that community in hiding. It's because of them that there's so much homophobia in the black community. It's because all of the people who represent that don't actually show themselves to represent it. So as a result, we get to stay in this fake mindset that we don't do this and that this is not who we are and that our people don't get down like that. When in actuality, every last one of these damn celebrities get down like that, it seems, or at least one every three. The ones who have the biggest, brightest shine light on them are the ones that ultimately don't want nobody to know that they are comfortable engaging in this behavior. See, that's the part that bothers me. If they were fighting the feelings, if they were delivered, that's a different story because they're trying to keep from engaging in what it is that ultimately comes naturally to them. But these idiots is parading around behind the scenes at these parties as the biggest comfortable individuals within their own skin. They just won't do it while you see it. They just won't do it while those who are paying attention to them see it for fear of changing the narrative on the macho nature of their fake ass images. Fake images, bro. And so as a result, every last case of them, each and every one of them who would otherwise come out and normalize what it means to be them, continue to allow for the guise of that there is something incredibly wrong or something specifically different about those individuals as they're poorly represented. Specifically different. Like, nah, that's the bad dudes. They over there, they do something different. They soften it. No, they're closeted. That's the representation I now have of you guys. They are just like anybody else that pretends to be straight. That's what the representation of a bi dude is to this person here. Is a closeted person that pretends not to be gay. That's literally what it is. That's what I know of it. I don't know no bi people. All the bi people in the closet, apparently. The dudes, anyway. Like, you represent y'all people poorly, man. You let us walk around thinking the worst of y'all, when all of our heroes just happen to be y'all. It's craziness. And to wake up to that is what I'm basically coming around to understand. Like, damn, that celebrity too? I listen to that man's music more than anybody else. You trying to tell me he was part of that community that's not represented at all? Or poorly represented? Or considered shunned by that same person? That dude too? That dude too? That dude too? It's one of those going on right now. I'm just sitting up here like, man, some of the people you most believe in turn out to be liars. Some of the people you thought were being themselves the most and were teaching you how to be yourself were actually not showing themselves to be who they are. It's embarrassing. Hello, fam. It's embarrassing to be a black man living in a time where people are afraid to be themselves. And we have so much against us and so many of these same people telling us to be ourselves. It's ridiculous. I'm insulted as a black person. Truth be told. And the culture from which people would force people to otherwise be in that closet needs to be held accountable. It needs to be held accountable. It really does. And it's not my position to say who the names are, even though everybody's doing that all over the internet. But you'd be damn surprised some of these names, man. Some of your heroes. some of the most respected MCs, some of the most respected celebrities, some of the most toughest, strongest images of black men and black excellence, afraid to represent themselves properly and their community properly. It's ridiculous. And I'll tell you something else. It would explain why a certain somebody is not speaking up for the betterment of their people. It makes sense why you see so many of these celebrities quiet. Although we had hinted at the notion that this was probably what's behind it, people trying to hold on to their secrets and afraid of being outed for these nasty sex secrets that they be got going on. So they won't speak up on genocide because they know that the Zionists are the ones who know their secret. And if they turn on them, then they have to ultimately fall on the sword of being not only what it is they are, but also the liars that they've proven themselves to be by being this way. And God forbid they fall on their sword for the betterment of somebody else's suffering ending. Cowards. Compromise Hollywood, afraid to tell the truth about itself so somebody else don't have to suffer. That's really what it is. Compromise by the devil himself in white skin, I shit you not. I'm irritated. I'm disgusted. Shamed of y'all. That's the God's honest truth, man. And I tell you the truth, in this fishbowl, I can't say I blame you for thinking that that's how it should be, but that you would see what trickles from it, what should have changed your reality, should have ultimately made you stand on your square. For fear of being shunned by people like me, people with my skin color, because we don't do that and we don't get down like that. Everybody y'all support get down like that. All of these people you bumping in your music, 1/3 of them get down like that. If you're gonna start shunning everybody who get down like that, you ain't gonna even be able to play the damn radio. You might as well delete your entire iTunes playlist, friends. That's what I'm starting to understand. If all of those people would have come out at once, what you gonna do? Stop listening to music? No, it would normalize those relations in regards to our perception of those people. It would do a lot of good for our community in regards to helping us settle into the understanding that our homophobia is toxic for us. That it doesn't serve any purpose because everybody we ultimately celebrate is bi. That's the point. They would single-handedly change the consciousness of the black American who is homophobic because he don't have a leg to stand on. And instead of doing that collective good, they sit in the damn closet, but not fully in the closet because they act a damn fool at every damn party they go to. It's embarrassing. Just an embarrassing generation on so many fronts. That's really what it comes down to. An embarrassing generation on so many fronts. People who engage in certain activity will shun the very nature of what it is that they engage in. They'll be the first ones to tell you, we don't like them people, keep them people out of here. They going against this, they going against that. That is what you are dealing with. That is your demon. People like myself, who are comfortable in our own skin, who don't happen to have that trait, don't have as much of a problem with those people as people who are internally struggling with that energy, but don't want nobody to know it. That's a God's honest truth. People who are comfortable in their sexuality, they don't worry about nothing like that. Because like I told you about myself, you could bring me around a world full of gay people. I'm just not going to have nobody to deal with. Because I ain't going to work out. I can't engage in that activity no way. It won't work out. Biologically, it won't work out. It doesn't work. When you don't swing that way, there is no temptation. There's no discomfort being around people who do. They don't provide any temptation. It's that for which I would be attracted to that provides a temptation. It's that for which would work that ultimately I need to protect against getting out of hand around. A lot of y'all don't want to be around those people because they are the source of temptation for you. You don't want to see those behaviors because you are aroused by those behaviors. Not because they bother you so much, but because it's what you actually want to see and don't want nobody to know you want to see it. or don't want nobody to see that you like seeing it. It's demonic, man. That's what's wrong with that. That's what's truly wrong with that. There's so many people out here who are closeted that ultimately come together to make it so that it's strange to be bi or gay. That's what's wrong with being gay. It's that part of their community, if I'm being completely honest with you. They're the ones that make it hard on the rest of y'all, or otherwise uncomfortable for the rest of us. It's the truth. And so you get these P. Diddy type situations, or whoever else coming out here acting damn stupid. This is what you get from that. That's what trickles down from that. Unnecessary distractions away from real important topics for which we should very much be paying attention to. I'll tell the truth, man. I don't play games when it comes to certain things, especially as it pertains to black community and people who are representatives of the black community. I do not play games, friends. When shame is needed, I don't have a problem being the voice of reason. And as I said, there are factions of this conversation that I just don't feel qualified to have, based on a lot of this stuff just being hearsay as far as I can tell. But I know there's something that can be said that's responsible in nature. If you're going to go outside of what it is your true nature is and try to hold on to individuals' hearts who think that you are solely with them, you could potentially be bringing them back something dangerous. Never mind how prevalent that is to your community or whatnot. If you're going to act like you straight and you not, you could, in theory, be bringing back something deadly to the person that thinks you only with them. And the odds of you doing that increase just off of the sheer nature of the options. Because if you're going with them and you're going with them, and they going with them and going with them, then it's just more opportunities for that, for which is poisonous, to be passed from body to body. So y'all engaging in unprotected sex and furthermore pretending like you're not who you are, it's dangerous. And if we're doing math correctly, if you happen to give somebody who you with something while engaging in that activity, you should probably be held accountable for that. If we're doing things correctly, that should not necessarily be legal. If not for the devil controlling the government, we would be doing math that way. That goes for everybody who's going to be unfaithful on whatever spectrum you're on. If you bring something back home that's going to hurt your loved one, if we're doing things the right way, you should face some consequences for that. And that's about as much comfort as I feel in saying that. That's about as far as I can take that conversation from my perspective. Do better, man. Do better. Do better. The only way culture changes in the mirror, man. Just like every other conversation we have on this channel. The only way culture changes is in the mirror, fam. If you ain't gonna fix yourself, then you're gonna be part of the problem. Every single time, no matter what the topic is. If you ain't gonna fix yourself, you're part of the problem. Be yourself, and you can be part of the solution and a better representation of what it is that you represent. Or otherwise refuse to in certain cases, obviously. Do better. Video 44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.